then maybe the company can not just survive but can grow faster than the competitor. I came back and talked to all my board members and all the employees, and we created a mission of 100 days. I told all my employees, it was still a tough time in 2009. We called that mission as Mission Top Gun. I told that we have 100 days, and come what may, let us turn around the situation. Let us not think, let us not discuss, let us not entertain any gossip of slowdown, recession, etc. Just keep thinking what are the possible options that we have. First one, to cut the cost. The second one, increase the revenues, so on and so forth. And keeping the morale high of the employees, because there was a continuous newspaper article, TV, media, everything was covering recession continuously. And it was horrifying in 2000 and 2009. Fortunately, we were so successful in this whole process of 100 days, which we started somewhere in the month of March, and we celebrated in the month of June 2009, that we came out elegantly out of this whole process, and we surpassed most of the competitors, and we were in the top 10. In this whole process, we were in top 5, and in the last couple of years, we are in the first 2. After NIT, I think we would be having the highest revenue, because even Aptech is going down.
That's wonderful. So 100 days basically made a big difference, and your employees supported you, because probably you were able to inspire them also.
What I realized that when situation is tough, it's very easy to make people come together. When the time is good, it's very difficult to make people come together.
When going gets tough, tough gets going.
Yeah, and people support, because everybody is under a fear and in a stressful situation. And if the leader believes that there is a bright future ahead, they start believing, irrespective of the fact whether it's true or not.
That's right. Coming to your operations today, where you have expanded quite rapidly, not just in Pune, Maharashtra, you have gone outside Maharashtra, and you have set up, I think, about 40 offices. How do you ensure that you are able to offer consistently same quality across all these centers?
So since 1997-98, with the implementation of processes and systems, that's one thing that we have ensured. So when we get the trainers, we train them, we certify them, and we have a process to ensure that at the end of the program, we take the feedback and act on that. I won't say it's happening 100%, but certainly much more than most of the competitors. So systems and processes is the only way by which this can be maintained, not otherwise, which can be then supported by maybe technology.
Okay, so you have some IT system where also you get support to monitor this?
Yes.
Which is developed by you?
Yes.
How many people you have in the training field?
We are 600 people company. With 40 locations. We are in Pune, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, Trivandrum, Indore, Bhopal. Soon we'll have 4 or 5 centers in Gujarat and NCR region.
So how do you align all these 600 people to your vision? Because you have a great vision, and as we see, you are a value-based organization. So how do you align all 600 people to your vision and values?
As soon as the employees are employed in the organization, we make it a point that in the induction process, we make them understand the ideology of the organization. So what is our belief, what is our mission, what are our values, we make them explicitly clear in the process of induction. Then every month, I stand in front of all the newcomers, and I spend a couple of hours to explain that again, and also give them the idea about what are we planning to do in the next 5 years, 10 years, etc. So that's how we are trying to percolate the ideology of the organization. What has not happened right, which we are now trying to fix it, though there are values that we have put on the walls of the organization, we have not very clearly, crisply articulated the policies. If somebody doesn't follow value, what we should do, that is ambiguous to some extent, and which we are
consequences are not defined.
Or consequences not defined, which we are defining now. But there is a awareness which gets articulated through HR induction and my address to the new employees, which I do once in a month.
Okay. As regards business development, because that's always the challenge, do you do something unique in business development area?
Not really. In all the analysis for last 10 years, when we are analyzing from where we are getting business and how we are getting business, 65 to 70% is by word of mouth. In services, that's the best way of spreading your word, because what we have realized that even if you do a heavy ad campaign, in services business you don't get response easily. Rather, we have seen competitors having 40-50 crores of funding just got down and they got closed just because they thought that by doing marketing and advertisement they would attract the customer, which doesn't happen in services industry. So the best way is word of mouth, and to ensure that is quality of your services is the only way and the fastest way to create a brand and sustain a brand. Of late, we have started relying on, and we want to be using it more and more, the social media and digital marketing. So we have hired a consultant from Hyderabad, Shantanu Ghosh is his name. For last 6-7 years, he's teaching at IIMs, Kolkata and other places, and we have hired his services. Within a year or two, we would have substantial presence of organization on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and various other things. We are formulating the strategy. That could be maybe possibly unique. The third one that we do, we try to get in touch with our prospective clients by some validation events. So these are the only thing. I won't say this is something unique or what, something which can be called as unique compared to what competitors are doing. Maintaining your service quality is the only thing. It is tough in services business, especially when you start spreading thin, to maintain the quality of your service. And
absolutely,
that's the only way.
Yeah, as you grow very fast, I think that's the biggest thing. Now, when you look back your 20 years of journey as an entrepreneur, what you would like to say as a mantra, what entrepreneur must do or must not do from your learning?
He should be absolutely ambitious. Irrespective of thicks and thins of the business, he should be or she should be believing the mission value, rather the dream that he is carrying. The situation may come and comes in life of most of the entrepreneurs. When I've interacted with many of them and my own experience too, the life is not certainly that straightforward, especially when you become an entrepreneur in this country, when there is the ecosystem not that strong enough. Like when I thought of business, my parents were worried, my in-laws were worried, most of my bosses in a previous organization, they said that you're doing a great blunder, you're a class 1 gazetted officer. So support to entrepreneurs in society, especially also in Maharashtra and Marathi, is not really good. Even today, people fear to become an entrepreneur for various reasons. And one of the reasons which I realize, which all of you would also be aware, we do not respect failures. In this society, if we fail, we have a fear that I will be out of this society, people will look down at me. And that sometimes gives us a shiver. Sometimes even me, when I think that if something goes wrong and if organization faces a problem, I will have a severe problem. And if you fail in something, that doesn't mean that you as an individual is a failure, but we have lot many things to learn to support entrepreneurship in this country.
Okay, I think you have very well summarized this. Thank you so much. Coming back to your future plans, because you have, I think you have also set up some of the companies like Palash. Would you like to say something about your future plans?
So let me give some idea about what we do in Palash. Palash Healthcare Systems Private Limited is a company we started in 2006. We have a homegrown ERP for hospitals, and very interestingly, when we started journey, again without any absolute clarity about where we would go, we have 150 hospitals in India, Middle East, in Caribbean islands, in Indonesia using our software. We could possibly be #1 healthcare IT company in this country in SME sector when we are tracking the competitors. And what we do is we have a ERP which can be used for multi-specialty hospitals, specialty clinics like diabetic clinic, IVF clinic, and ophthalmology clinic. We have a solution for general purpose clinic chain and polyclinics. We have presence in India, in Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai. We also have a presence in Dubai, Muscat, Abu Dhabi, West Indies, Macedonia, a place in Europe, and Indonesia and Singapore. This is a team of almost 90 people. We have an office on Prabhat Road. We work as a Microsoft shop. All the entire product is on Microsoft. And soon on 1st of June, we will be launching the only company in India